Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Atheist Experience. We are live Sunday, January 13th, 2008.
And then after Jesus came for those people, there was no one left to have the Holy Spirit. And so everyone went to heaven with Jesus, and that's where they are. But there's going to be another group later on in the future that is a bigger group, so many can't be counted, called the Great Multitude. And they're going to have a similar experience where that group is going to be changed into spirit beings sometime in the future.
It's an interesting story. I just don't see how you can justify any of it, or what reason you have for thinking any of this is true in the first place. It seems
like I say, I studied the Bible. I look in detail at what it says, and I kind of reject.
I understand that, Stan, but I could do the same thing with any book.
Yeah, the problem here kind of comes up as, how do you know that what you're reading and your interpretation of it is the correct one, and it's not Satan, the devil, demons having a field day with you and your interpretations? Matt obviously has a very different interpretation of these kind of things than you do.
Well,
who's to say that he's not got the right one and Satan's been having a field day with you, or the other way around?
You do the best you can there, and it's good if it makes sense. It makes a lot more sense to me that God would give everyone a chance for one, and I'd always.
So you go into it with a preconception about what you think the nature of God is, and you read that into whatever you're reading in order to make it say what you want it to say.
No,
yes.
I look
That's
at
what
it
you
in
said.
a
I
way
just
that
phrased it
it's
differently.
Objective and analyze it as best I can so that
Just
I can
fit
make sense
your
of it all.
preconception. My question is, ignoring interpretation entirely. You're making assumptions about the truth of what's in the book, that anything in the book actually happened. And I'm curious as to why you would think that anything in that book actually happened.
Well, I think that that gets down to the central question of whether you believe that book is, even with its problems of translations and other things that you have with it, is a historical record of what happened to those men. And so I happen
and you
to
believe it is.
That's so.
Okay,
so
why?
Makes, from my perspective, I look at it, okay, if these things happen, how was it for those men? And, I also look at it as, when I read it, I don't apply the things to myself today that was said to men 2,000 years ago.
So from your perspective, you judge the Bible to be historically accurate. Because this is about the third or fourth time we've had this little piece of discussion.
Yeah.
And every time I ask you what reason you have for thinking it is, you can't provide no evidence. You just say, from your perspective, you believe that it's true.
Well, just like from your perspective, you don't believe it's true.
Yes, but my perspective, no. My perspective is based on the fact that there's insufficient evidence to justify the claim that it's true. You don't get to say that we have equally valid yet opposing viewpoints.
Well,
you're accepting something as true, and the only justification that should be used to accept something as true is evidence to support the claim.
Right.
Not a lack of evidence to prove it wrong, not a personal viewpoint about your preconceptions of what may or may not be true about it.
Well, I have no reason to believe it is not true.
You're just not getting it, Stan. I just, not 10 seconds before, said that the burden of proof has nothing to do with evidence that proves it wrong. And we got actually full lines, and you've been on for a while, so I thank you for calling, but we're going to move on to some others now. You can't, I don't know how that gets missed. If you've got a claim...
I haven't seen anything to prove me wrong, so...
Yeah. I haven't seen anything that proves that there's not leprechauns, stealing socks out of my dryer. Doesn't mean that's what's happening.
That's me in the corner.